Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Zizek Times. Today we're going to find the answer. Why Slavoj Žižek said that the computer is a lady.
What, a computer is a lady? Really?
Yeah, strange, but fascinating.
I guess Zizek always tries to surprise us.
Yeah, after all, he is a cultural theorist and a philosopher in our postmodern world.
So where does this idea come from?
Zizek gave an interview with Josefina Ayerza on hidden prohibitions in the pleasure principle, which was published in Flash Art. There he talks about psychoanalysis, Freud, Lacan, capitalism, our consumer society.
Okay, I see the piece in front of me. Let me read it. You keep on going.
He says, we live in a world of prohibition. But the prohibition is masked as this kind of universal objective knowledge statement, which he calls today's Spinozist world, especially in the United States.
Yes, he says. Let me quote. For example, every package is full of information. Of course, this information is about what it contains and what it does not contain. No cholesterol, no fat. This, for me, is the practical side of Spinoza today. The inherent dimension is that there are hidden prohibitions. Low fat or low cholesterol means you can easily enjoy it, but the form of a command is absent. You can do whatever you want, but...
Yeah. Josefina asked him, so the word but comes instead of thou shalt not, implying we are not primitive anymore?
Zizek says what you get after but is not the master signifier. It's not an order. It's a kind of masked, objective scientific knowledge, just information. I think this is perhaps one of the things that fundamentally characterizes late capitalist consumer society. As we all know, psychoanalysis enables us to discern that behind this explicit commandment lies a hidden superego commandment to enjoy properly, to succeed. Lacan says the same thing.
Here Zizek brings Freud's paradoxes of the pleasure principle. That's part of our ideological posture in consumer society.
Zizek says, I quote, you have a society which is ostensibly oriented toward pure pleasure, but you pay for it through a whole series of you can't. The hidden prohibitions: eat whatever you want, but beware of fat and cholesterol. Smoke, but beware of nicotine. Sex, but safe sex. Yet the ultimate consequence of this pleasure principle is that everything is prohibited in a way. You can't smoke, there is nicotine. You can't eat, there is fat. You can't have sex, you'll get sick. So this is a kind of everyday confirmation of the Lacanian paradox.
What is the Lacanian paradox?
If God does not exist, everything is prohibited, not everything is permitted. This is how Lacan reversed Dostoevsky.
Zizek says this is perfectly epitomized by today's society of consumption. If God in the traditional sense as a universal model does not exist, then everything is allowed. You can get whatever you want, but with the substance removed. Coffee without caffeine, cigarettes without nicotine.
Here, Zizek now brings in computer. He says modern computer has an universal dimension, what he calls a kind of a Spinozist machine.
Yeah, what Lacan defines the lady in courtly love as a non-human partner. This is computers today.
So it means the computer is lady now?
Yes, that's what Zizek says. The computer takes the place of the lady.
Yeah. He says thinking the innermost of your being is in a way externalized. The machine thinks for you. Just by observing it, you can enjoy how the other does it for you. Again, this is the ultimate Spinozist vision, passive immersion. Lacan falsely attributes this experience to Hegel, to Hegelian absolute knowledge, but I think it is far more Spinozist, the reduction to a pure bare observer. This kind of universal symbolic machine functioning by itself totally relieves you of your responsibility.
Zizek thinks we, the observer, has gradually reduced to a purely passive role. We have nowadays home delivery of food, TV channels where you can shop, sex you can buy, and you can be connected to your workplace through a modem. There is a nice capitalist logic behind it. We return literally to Spinoza.
But why return to Spinoza's time?
In Spinoza's time, the typical form of capitalism was that workers worked at home in small villages. The capitalists came once a week, provided you with materials, took what you did, and paid you. This functioned very well.
How?
This is because you were pressured to work all the time. You didn't have any difference between your life and your work.
I think Zizek is now getting into Marx.
Yes. The capitalist we know today was not same before. We only encountered him individually, be he or his representative used to come to your home. When we develop with capitalist development, we started with factories, where workers worked physically, produced commodities, they could even organize strikes.
So that's the Marxist idea of class consciousness.
Yes, but today things have changed, especially in developed countries. Nowadays they are totally dispersed, each of them staying at home. The paradox is, with computerization.
This means today, the level of the organization of production is returning to this Spinozist form of capitalism.
Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.